Welcome everybody to the Moray House Gem Report internship launch. So my name is Will Smith. I am the Moray House School of Education and Sport Director of Internationalization. I'm excited to be here today for this, which is really a partnership we've been working on for about the last year and a half, and it's great to see this get started. So the agenda today, I'll be doing a quick introduction to the Moray House internship program, and then I'll invite individuals from Moray House and UNESCO's GEM report to introduce the internship a bit, including talking about the details and what it is. I'll come back on and talk about how you can apply, and then we'll hopefully have about 15 minutes for questions and answers. Okay. So the Moray House internship program is a new initiative. It is here to help further develop the skills and networks of upcoming and recent Moray House graduates. So if you're joining us online or in the room, my hope is that you are getting close to graduation, which means you're probably in the middle of your dissertation right now, which is a lot of fun. So this is designed for, again, upcoming graduates and also last year's cohort. So it's an initiative to provide exclusive opportunities to high prestige, globally renowned organizations. These are really difficult organizations to get your foot into the door and to get internships in. So I'm excited to start here with UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report. And it's also, the internship program is also designed to help really bridge the period between the completion and that kind of uncertain period of you finding your first position. So the goal is to really provide opportunities for future leaders in education and sport to be identified in these organizations and then thrive in their future. So I'm excited that the first internship, the inaugural internship in this Moray House internship program, is with UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report. So this is a report that I feel very connected with, I've got experience with, I know the amazing work they do as a team, and I'm excited to see how they help really develop the next round of leaders in education. So I want to hand over now to our head of school, Professor Carol Campbell, for helping to launch this quite important internship. So Carol, over to you.
Thanks, Will, and thank you to Will for all of his work in taking forward this internship. Will had suggested to me the idea of an internship, and I am fully supportive of this, but of course taking it from an idea to this fabulous collaboration with UNESCO and the GEM report, and to Manos and Anna who are with us today is absolutely wonderful. So as we come towards the end of this academic year, I'm truly delighted that we're launching this new internship. As Will had said, I'm Carol Campbell. I'm head of Moray House School of Education and Sport. And we're just really excited about this collaboration with UNESCO, particularly with the Global Monitoring Report, the Global Education Monitoring Report. Our inaugural partner, we hope that we might develop further internships and further partners, but I'm really delighted that it is with the GEM report in the first instance, because this is about excellence in supporting our students, our graduates, opportunities for those of you that are on our PGT programs as you come to the end of your time with us and graduate, or if you're a recent graduate, to be able to participate in a high-profile internship in an extremely prestigious international educational organisation that's really doing excellent work in terms of data and research. I mean, the Global Education Monitoring Report is UNESCO's flagship report in education and monitors progress and reports on progress. And we're delighted with the partnership that we have with the GEM team and with the GEM report over the years. And the work that's been done to monitor and report on the Sustainable Development Goals. So for those of you who choose to apply for the internship and for the person that's the successful piece, I'm absolutely confident you're going to have a wonderful, rich experience. And of course, we hope that this strengthens our student experience as you think about your careers and your transitions after your time with us. So I really do want to thank our colleagues at UNESCO, at the GEM report, for agreeing to this, and Anna for the many collaborations that we have, and to Will for making this happen. It's certainly something that's unique to Moray House, and we're just delighted. So thank you to everybody that's involved, and I look forward to this successful launch and hearing next steps. Thank you, Will. I'll hand back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Carol, for your time and for your support. Joining us today, we have the two real senior leaders from UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report, Manos Antonines, who is the director of the Global Education Monitoring Report, and Ana Cristina Diario, who is the Chief Education Policy Officer. So let me switch over to the other. And I'm not sure who's going to be chatting first, but I'll...
Manos,
I will
you'd like to slide?
present. Yes, I think if you can also take the slides down, then I can upload.
You can share directly.
Okay.
But thank you very much, Carol, for the welcome. Thank you very much, Will, for all the hard work and the trust and confidence in our work. We are also just as excited because we are very much aware that Moray House is one of the top schools of education in the world. So, and we are very much looking into collaboration with the academic community. First of all, because we really very much want, and that's a message to the students who are with us today, we want critical partners, and the critical partners are primarily based in the academic community. So we're very happy that people read and enjoy the stuff they read and get ideas, but we also want their ideas and their contributions to how we can do our work better. And I will say just 2-3 words about the report as an introduction of who we are. And I will just present 2-3 slides on the stage we're at, because that might give you also some thoughts for those of you who may consider to apply. So the GEM report exists now since 2002, and we have a responsibility for monitoring progress in education in the International Development Agenda, which since 2015 is universal, as we know, and that's a really very, very important point. Our mandate is given from the world's governments, and we are, thank you very much, that's also very good, we're hosted and published by UNESCO, but we're not funded by UNESCO, and the report is not prepared by UNESCO, which gives us quite a unique opportunity to be able to do our monitoring and advocacy work. So the report for a long time has had a theme, and will continue having a theme, but there has been an aspiration from our advisory board to use more our monitoring experience and insights to inform the debate as we come closer to 2030, and all eyes are on the potential update of the International Education Agenda. What are the lessons that we have learned? And these lessons come from understanding better the trends in education, from documenting the experience of countries that have done relatively better than others, from especially when we compare them from the same starting points. Explore, of course, there are many factors that contribute to that, but explore in particular the role of policies, and use all that information to essentially help frame a global debate on a global education agenda. So with basically these types of questions, we're envisaging 3 reports from now to 2029, let's say. The first is coming out in March or April next year, and will focus on issues of education expansion, access at levels of education from pre-primary to higher education, with a particular focus on whether countries expand, keeping an eye on equity and improving equitable outcomes. The second report, which will be published in July 2027, will focus on the very broad agenda of quality and learning. And the final in this mini-series that we have entitled Countdown to 2030 will be on the question of relevance. And by that, we mean the main questions that, of course, education systems are criticized these days, whether they are up to the task of helping the learners of today to act accordingly and tackle the main global challenges, whether are climate change challenges, there are issues related to the use of technology, the misinformation, disinformation, conflict. There's so many challenges that education systems appear not to be contributing. So very briefly, to move to the next slide, just to give a sense of a brief idea of how this works for the first report in the series, for which there is a concept note that you can consult. As I mentioned, we're looking at 3-4 core indicators: early childhood education participation, out-of-school rates, completion rates, and tertiary education gross enrollment ratio. We will be looking at the disparities between groups as well, as a fifth kind of dimension. And this little table says that we will be looking at 5 case studies from countries that appear to have done much better than others, and 2 case studies of countries that appear to have actually done pretty poorly, even regressing relative to their starting points. So that's about 35 case studies selected from all over the world. And moving to the next slide before Anna takes the floor, we have 3 main research components in addition to the case studies that I just described. There are also the 3 systematic reviews that we have commissioned, which look at the policies that explain long-term progress in these 3 levels of education expansion, so early childhood, primary, secondary, and tertiary. And then we have also, we're continuing on our long-term program on country profiles, on policies. We have selected 1 policy that we believe encapsulates the different levels of complexity, those that focus on the use of financing to improve equity. And that's the project that Anna and her team are leading. We call them peer profiles. We will be looking at transfers from central to local governments and the extent to which they recognize disadvantage and try to compensate. The same in transfers to schools, then transfers to students and families, looking at both resources from the education budget and outside education. Usually social transfers and assistance can be very influential. And finally, school feeding, which seems to be increasingly a major factor that promotes equity. We will also look at a subset, very small subset of policy issues on early childhood and tertiary. Finally, I had 1 more slide, I think, before passing on to Anna and the description of the internship. We have also regional editions that will be running in the course of the upcoming internship, to which you might be involved. This is continuing a series that started in 2019. The first one will be on the issue of early childhood education participation in the Arab states, which is the region of the world that is furthest lagging behind in that level of education. Gender disparity in secondary completion, where there are more girls than boys completing secondary school in the Caribbean, in Latin America and the Caribbean generally, but more specifically in small island states. And finally, our series on Africa, which is called Spotlight. It will be its 4th edition, and we will be looking at the issue of overage enrollment, late enrollment, and repetition in primary education, which appears to hold back education development. So that gives you a general sense of our current areas of focus, and Anna will take you through the details on the internship. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Manos.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Manus, and thanks a lot, Carol, for your kind words, and thanks, William, for this opportunity. If you can go to the next slide, I will be very quick. Just to say that it's a wonderful opportunity for us too, because to have interns here, I think it's really a win-win strategy for us and for the interns, because we learn also and we grow together. So it's a very, as Manos was saying, is also to bring this critical perspective coming from the academics in the team, and have also the opportunity to contribute to their growth and development, because in a sense we have been doing that also for some time. Having interns means also to contribute to their professional growth, and especially in this very peculiar moment that is the moment before they enter on the labor market. And should I say that it's not really serious. It's really important to do this internship because we consider interns as they were full part of our team. So they really work with us and do the same thing we do every day. Of course, there is less burden on them, or so they have really also the opportunity to take time to ask questions and to have important moment with other people on the team that may work on different issues. So the internship, and this was really detailed in the terms of reference of the internship, is structured, will be structured in a way that the persons selected will have opportunity to work either with me or Pablo, that is the chief monitoring person, and or and with Kate Redman, that is in charge and lead the communication advocacy team, and the monitoring person is Pablo Fraser. There will be two components. One will be research and data, and the other one will be communication and advocacy. But the person that will be selected will contribute in any event both to support data analysis, research, and quality assurance for the global report. As Manos was saying, the 2026 and the 2027 global education monitoring reports, but also on the regional reports. And this means that there will be time to do research and time to do also to contribute to the communication and also to participate to the work of the peer country profiles. This means that as I was saying already, because we met with Carol and William during the launch in Glasgow, the country profile is desk research, preparing profiles in terms of policy legislation, but doing also the mapping of these policies, and also to contribute to other research tasks of our team. And at the same time, there will be some work in communication and advocacy. We are preparing a youth report on leadership, but there is also work ongoing on youth engagement in policy making. And there can be also space to organize policy discussion on the different themes of the next global reports and the regional reports, and also contribute to other communication tasks of the team, like, for example, contributing to writing blogs, etc. So it's really, I think it's really an exciting set of tasks for people that will join us, and I'm really happy to be here to talk finally about this, because this is becoming reality. So thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Anna, for joining and sharing a little bit about the content of the internship. Let me move to the next slide. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to apply, and then we'll have a chance to ask questions. So first, as I mentioned before, this may not be the case in all the internships that come out of this program. For the Moray House Gem Report internship, we are looking for individuals that are in a postgraduate top program. And so if you're doing PGDE, or you're an undergrad, or you're a PhD student, you don't qualify. You need to be in a PGT program. That can be online or in person. So we might have some online students joining right now. And you need to be expected to graduate in 2025. Or you're also eligible if you graduated within the past year. Okay, so if you're part of last year's cohort, you're joining us online, then you're also eligible to apply. So talking briefly about the timeline. So the deadline for applications, so applications are open, and I'll share a QR code for that in a bit. But the deadline for applications is the 18th of August. So once you apply, Moray House will internally shortlist individuals for that, and we'll be providing probably a list of 5 to UNESCO's GEM report. to interview, and they'll make the final selection. So the announcement of that decision will hopefully be done by about mid-September, and the expected start date is November 1st. So what I don't think I have here is that this is designed as a 6-month internship. Okay. The current design is to have the first 3 months of that be in Paris at UNESCO headquarters, with some flexibility in the last 3 months, whether that's maintaining in person or whether that is taking place online. All right, so that's a conversation you'll be having with them if you're awarded the position. So yeah, expect to start at the beginning of November. All right, what do you need to do to apply? So you need to have your CV, and your application will be built around a project proposal. Now, this is a maximum of 1 page. There's a lot to do in a page. Page isn't very long. So you're going to have a 1-page project proposal, and you're going to have an abstract. Right? A lot of the difference between academic work and what you're going to see at UNESCO's GEM report is the ability to articulate complex ideas fairly simply and straightforward. And so we want to make sure you're aware of those ideas and able to communicate them clearly. So the project proposal will have a research question or aim of the internship. So you heard a little bit about all the different things that they're doing. Now it's important for you to be able to situate yourself in that activity. And the relevance of your suggested work to the GEM report for the 2026 and 2027-28 report, particularly. So what would this project proposal look like? So you would need to identify 1 or 2 policy questions. You heard Manos talk a lot about policy that are relevant to one of the GEM report's focus on either outcomes or equity or inclusion or quality. So hopefully you're interested in one of those 4 areas. You did hear that they are working across early childhood to tertiary education. So that's fine if you're interested in different education levels, as long as it's in that span. You're going to identify 1 or 2 policy questions, and then it's important here that you're explaining why the question should be explored. Why is this an important question? Why should we be paying attention and putting effort into exploring this question? What is your experience in researching the area? So we want to make sure that you have the knowledge to at least start your exploration. Right? You don't need to ask a question you've already answered. This should be a new question, but you need to have the relevant skills and knowledge to be able to answer it, or at least to know how to go about it. So I need to briefly explain what the existing literature says about the policy related to your question and the chosen outcome. So this is just a very brief sense that you are aware of the field, right? You're able to demonstrate that your knowledge is deep in one of the areas you're exploring. Remember, you only have a page to do this. So it's a very challenging task to demonstrate that you are aware of not just the GEM report and how your interests fit with the GEM report, but you're able to demonstrate your full understanding of the field. As I mentioned before, your documents for this are CV, your proposal, which is that 1-page thing we just talked about, and then an additional brief abstract of 150 words. Okay. Okay, so key links and apply. Let me move this out of the way. So this is up. It was officially launched like last Tuesday on the My Career Hub. If you're a student or recent graduate, you should have access to that. So you can use the link there, or you can scan the QR code. You're going to need to sign in. And when you get there, you should have access to the terms of reference, which will walk you through all the details of it, including your responsibilities, UNESCO's responsibilities, and kind of again, going over the different backgrounds for the GEM report briefly, and the task you need to complete for your application. Is that? We're going to have a quick question and answer in a bit, but I'm sure as you go away, you might have other questions. Okay, so I'm the main point person for Moray House with those questions. So if, as you're going through the application, you have questions, please email me. Okay, I'm very vested in seeing this be successful. And so if you do have questions, email me directly, and I'll do the best I can to respond.